Hi there, it's me, Jordan Van Haslo. Welcome to Jordan Van Haslo and Friends live on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas. Let's get on with the show. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Showtime with Jordan Van Haslo and Friends right here on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas. So glad you're joining us this week. We have another new friend, a Steadycam operator. He has worked on a variety of different projects, from music videos to horror films to documentaries. And he's taken some time to join us today, and we're all going to have a wonderful time getting acquainted. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose Babcock. Hi, Jose.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad to finally meet you.
Digitally, virtually.
Virtually, exactly. How is everything there? You're in LA right now, right?
Yeah, it's kind of gloomy.
Really?
Today. I know, yeah.
That really stinks. It's one of the things I miss about LA, was that the weather was always beautiful, but like here in New York, the weather's gorgeous. It's like the sky was blue, it wasn't too cold, so the joke's on you.
Damn.
Well, I want to talk a lot about just kind of what you're doing right now and some of the wonderful projects you've been working on. But I want to talk first, just as particularly for our audience, because a lot of our audience is in industry. And, we like to have folks on, not just, performers and talent, but people who work in all aspects of the business. And you're the first camera operator that we've ever spoken to. Ooh, and so I want to talk. Yeah, you are. You should put a big V on your cheek. But you're the first camera operator, and I think most people know what a camera operator is, right? It's the guy who operates the camera. But more importantly, you specialize in Steadicam operation. And so I would love for you to kind of talk about exactly what Steadicam is, because I'm sure most of the people in our audience, they've seen work that's been produced by Steadicam, but they have no idea what that is. The floor is yours.
Well, a Steadicam is a body-mounted camera stabilizer used for motion picture-sized cameras. So if you've ever seen a movie where the actors are maybe walking through a doorway and they're walking on and off of a curb, and the camera looks like it's on a dolly, it's actually not on a dolly. It's a human being is holding that thing. It's called the Steadicam. It's got like a little mechanical arm that holds the camera up and keeps it from shaking around. It's pretty heavy.
How does, because like that's a specialization, right? Because I mean, when I've worked on projects, like I've met operators who are like, oh, I also do Steadicam. Is there like something extra that, like, as a camera operator, that you have to learn in order to? Yeah.
A lot of people say it's like half football player, half ballerina. Because it's like you're holding maybe like because the things can get up to 70 pounds, so it's like you're trying to make a movie with like a toddler, holding a toddler out away from you, that amount of weight, and you're trying to make a movie with it and move like a ballerina. Yeah, but it takes a long time to learn.
But the final effect is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, since the mid-70s they've been using it on movies on and off. It's become an institution.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you? I mean, a lot of people like grow up wanting to be in show business, wanting to be in movies, wanting to be in television, and the variety of ways. Ooh, I want to be an actor. Ooh, I want to be a director. Talk to me about how you came to be a cameraman.
Well, I grew up in San Diego. And I was just like everyone else that I grew up with. I was about one signature away from joining the Marines. And then I was like, you know what? Let me think about this for 1 second. And I went home and I knew I'd always love movies and monster movies and stuff, and LA's right there. So I decided after high school to just try that, and that's it. Purely proximity.
That's like amazing. I
That's
love
it.
it. It's like, yeah, I'm either gonna go into show business or I'm gonna join the Marines.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's
Yeah, my
the
life could have been drastically different.
Were you so is this like right after high school, or was this
Oh
a
yeah,
little after high school? Right
it's
after
like
high
right
school.
after high school. Yeah, maybe like a
So,
year. I took some classes at in junior college,
uh-huh.
test it out, and I was like, oh, this if somebody else can make a living doing this, why can't I? So exactly. So I just decided to go.
But why the camera specifically? Like, why not a grip, or why not being a sound guy, or why not, like, what attracted you, or how did the camera itself fall into your hands?
Well, I first went to school to write.
Mhm.
But, yeah, but I mean, it was a pretty small school, so people just needed help with camera. And originally, I was actually a dolly grip. I was the school's only Chapman Pee Wee dolly grip. I was the only guy. And I like nearly broke my back moving that thing around because you're like 20 years old, doing everything yourself. But I started doing that, and then people would just ask me to operate the camera, and then the school's only Steadycam operator graduated, and I literally just asked them, "Hey, man, like, what are all the things I need to do that?" Because there was no way I was going to graduate college and not have a job. So I knew that was like that was a niche, you know, uh,
Totally.
career path, and I just jumped on it. And I asked him, "What are all the things you need?" I didn't know anything. He told me, "Oh, you're just gonna need this, this, and this," and I was like, "All right, thanks." And I went and bought it with all of my money. That's literally how it happened, and I've been doing it ever since.
I love it. So you left school, you got into your car, you drove up to LA. So
Yeah.
how did you first, like, I'm not leaving school without a job. Did you leave school without a job, or did you come to
Well, just
LA
like
and kind of pound the pavement for a while?
yeah, well, just like anyone else, nobody knew me here, so I moved here after school, and I worked as a stage crew person. Like after concerts, they'd have these people come in, and
Mhm.
you're dismantling the concert, dismantling all the truss, everything, cleaning the lights. It takes weeks. I was one of those guys. That was a horrible job. It's a terrible job. Nobody cares about you. A lot of people you're working with are like you're called like a gig rat because you just work people. Yeah, they work gigs, and it's like a lifestyle. They all got tattoos. A lot of people were like ex-cons and stuff, paycheck to paycheck people. I would like there was like a point where like I'd be working with guys and they'd be asking for like $7, here and there just to afford gas to make it to work.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, man, I didn't go to college for to live like
There's
this.
got to be something better. There's got to be something more than this.
Yeah, and so I just slowly just told people, hey, I do this, and I do Steadicam. This isn't what I really do.
Yeah, but isn't it amazing? I always think about that, right? Because, like, especially like people who don't necessarily work in entertainment, to think of truly how many people it takes to put on a concert, for example. Like, no one, when you buy your $300 ticket to Bruce Springsteen, you don't think about the fact that after he leaves town, there are all of these people who are just like breaking things down and
Yeah,
stacking chairs and moving platforms.
yeah, it's like a city.
100%. So
Yeah.
what was your first official gig as a camera operator?
So my first gig long time ago was I'm trying to remember his name. DJ Mustard or something like that. It's like a gangster rapper. And dude, like we were filming and he had an enormous posse, like you know, like 100 people, and they're all on ATVs, you know, and like lowriders and stuff, and
What the
racing other.
MC Hammer is going on
Yeah,
here? That would be my thought.
yeah.
What is
And
happening?
this, I'll never forget this, man. Like everywhere we went around the city, they would follow us, and then like 10 minutes after that, an army of police would come, because it's like we're covering up the whole street. People couldn't even it was insane, and it was our fault. And so we kept riding around, and they would always follow. And then eventually police helicopters were following us and yelling at us with the horns and the, you know, and the loudspeakers, but we couldn't understand them because it was so loud. It was chaos all day. And then actually, if you've seen the movie Training Day,
Uh-huh.
at the end of that movie, they go to like this place. He takes Ethan Hawke to a place called the Jungle, they call it in the movie, but that's a real place. It's like a real street. It's a real cul-de-sac in LA. And we ended there.
Where is it? Is it like down in
can't remember. I can't remember. Maybe like, I don't know, north of Inglewood or something, like Watts maybe, but I can't remember the actual area.
uh-huh.
But man, we went there, and it was like there were hundreds of people, and like police helicopters. It was madness. I could not believe what was going on. I couldn't. That was my first job ever.
It's safe to say that there weren't any permits.
No, it was madness. It was crazy.
I'm actually looking up. I'm on DJ Mustard's Wikipedia page now. What video? Which song was it? Do you remember?
I can't even remember, man. That was like.
I want to find it, and I want to see it.
Yeah, because you know, like when I was working that stage crew job, and I was like desperate for like, you know, to get going, and you know, like, you know, operating. And this guy, I was dismantling some trusses. I think it was like Coachella just ended, and we had like this big job we were doing, and we were counting cables. And this guy was asking me like, "Oh, what did you go to school or something?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a bachelor's degree." I just mentioned it, and he's like, "You got a bachelor's degree and you're doing this?" And I was like, "Oh, I need to get out of here." You know? And soon, right after that is when that DJ Mustard thing called, and I was like, "Yes."
So did that lead to kind of like, did you become like the go-to Steadycam for like all of gangster rap?
Yeah, for a while. I mean, that's like, well, everybody that starts out does that type of stuff, you know, because it's low to the ground, it's easy. A lot of times you get paid like at the end of the day, and they always need new guys because they don't last long, because it's crazy.
Well, I would imagine if like, you know, all of the LAPD are like 3 helicopters are like overset, that would freak out the most.
Yeah, they know it. They know the drill. They and also you can tell that they do this all the time. It's like a common occurrence.
It's probably, I would think it's part of the, like, it would encourage it. Like they probably like film it, and because it's creating a scene. And like that's right, when you're trying to like make a, you know, mark yourself in music or whatever, you want a scene. So the idea that you kind of shut down, you know, whatever, Crenshaw Boulevard, and like had 8 cop cars and 3 helicopters over you, like that's creating a scene. Like I would consider that like a successful day of shooting.
Yeah, I'm sure they maybe put some of that in. I don't know. But dude, that's not even the first or last time, you know, that was the first time. But that was not the last time that some crazy stuff happened, you know, filming those things. There's so many.
So what was the craziest thing that happened? Like if you're like, say you're writing your memoirs, The Life of a Steadycam, a Steadycam, a life.
Like the first 3 years in LA.
Yeah, what would you say is like the craziest? Like what's your dinner party story? Like, oh my God, let me tell you guys about this time that.
Well, there was another time. I remember now. I'm trying to remember. There was one time. It was soon after that, where we were shooting some, and we had a lot of people. It was like a street full of people. But I guess the precincts have like, I didn't know this at the time, but they have like jurisdiction lines. So like one precinct could have, I don't know, some, I guess, dirt on some gang or something, you know, and another precinct might not. It's kind of weird, but
Oh, like they don't talk to each other, like almost like they're separate cities.
no, like if they wanted to bring somebody in, like the police from one side of town have to do it, kind of thing, or you have to get caught on that in that part of town, something like
Got
that.
it. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
complicated. I mean, I don't know.
No, but it makes sense.
I was just
It
picking
makes
there.
me
But
think of a friend of mine. I just to interject. Now, granted, LA and Beverly Hills are two different cities, but she lives in this building that's on oh my God, what's the street? Starts with a B, like when you're going into Beverly Hills. But anyways, nevertheless, I'm sorry.
Beverly Glen from
No, no,
north to
no, no.
south.
It goes east. It goes east-west. It goes east-west. When you're
Oh,
going into Beverly Hills, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is her building is this huge complex, and half of the building is in Beverly Hills and half of the building is in Los Angeles. And she said that like someone called the fire department. I don't know if there was a grease fire or something, but someone called the fire department, and both the Beverly Hills police, our fire department, came, and the Los Angeles fire department came, and they just kind of stopped in front of each other. And there was like a whole thing of like, well, who's responsible for this?
yeah, it was something like that. But somebody in one precinct had an open investigation or something on the particular gang, or somebody in that gang or something. And so what happened was we're shooting in the street, and eventually we came back from lunch, and they had a riot line of police and a giant tank with like a water cannon pushing everybody across the precinct line so that the police on the other side of the line can go grab the guy. Yeah, dude, yeah, it's crazy, man.
So as a cameraman, was your instinct to start filming?
No, I was just doing what they were telling me, because we came back from lunch, and we don't know what happened. We were like, oh my God, it was chaos. That was unforgettable. I didn't expect to see that. That was wild. Another time, there was actually a shootout near us, and somebody threw a bottle of Hennessy through the rear windshield of my car. And then later on, they
Was it
climbed in my
empty
car
or
and stole it
full?
out. What?
Was the Hennessy empty or full? Like, did they at least say
I
you a
assume
sip?
it was full, because it blasted through my new car. I was so pissed. And then the worst part was, dude, somebody went in there and took the bottle of Hennessy, so I didn't even get that. Yeah, man. It's crazy town.
So at this
People
point,
don't really know that, dude. People, you know, you see it in movies, but to actually be down there, it's like, it's like, it's crazier than a movie.
oh my God. So I'm assuming at this point, you're like, all right, I need to get into movies and out of music because these people are just wild and too much. So how did you make the transition out of doing all of these music videos into filming other types of content?
Well, dude, honestly, I think it's like partly, your friends just saying, hey, he's done his time. we're not gonna bother calling Jose for any more of these,
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, what usually happens is you and your friends, you keep working in any industry, you just keep working for years. Everybody climbs up a little bit. You help each other out laterally, and you just do, eventually you start doing movies,
Mm-hmm.
And
what was your first movie?
my first movie in LA, I'm trying to remember. In Los Angeles. Well, my first movie that I worked on was a movie in Ohio called well, they changed the name. I think it's called On Sacred Ground now. I think it's released now. It took them years to release it. It's about the pipeline incident in I think it was South Dakota.
Oh yeah,
I made
okay.
that years ago. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Jose can talk about. We have this project that we were brought on, and we started filming it, we did principal photography. We started in 2021. Then in like 2022, they did some reshoots. Now we're in 2023. It's finally just begun post-production.
Dang.
But that's the way it goes, right? And then it's probably
Yeah.
like going to take a minute to find, like, so it's like something you do in like 2021 might finally find a distributor and be released in like 2025. That's, yeah.
Hey, at least it's getting seen. That's the whole that's the whole point of it all, just so people can see it at least.
Indeed. So doing your first movie, what was that like for you, having had kind of the craziness of all of these music videos? Was it more together? Was it more, was there a learning curve, or was it just like, or was it calming? Like, oh, thank goodness, there's no police. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Yeah, it's, yeah. I like doing movies, but it is, as a camera and Steadicam operator, it's always really stressful, especially low budget movies, especially when you're starting out. They really ream you. I mean, music videos, they ream you hard, but a movie, that's only 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe 5 days maximum. A movie is like for 30 days. And so, yeah, it's like you're like have you ever seen the movie Lighthouse?
No, I don't think I'm familiar with Lighthouse.
Is that what it's called? The one with the Willem Dafoe and what's his name? Guy played Batman recently.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Well, yeah, dude. Like a lot of times, out of town movies, at least for me, it's kind of like that, because you're just working so hard all day, every day. They're creaming you, and so when you go home, you just drink a lot, and you're just so. It's like the most, for me. It's really stressful, and I always end up like gaining a few pounds after every movie, especially an out of town movie. So it's hard, man. Like, it's all hard. Different types of hardship,
But it's fun but you're also in this kind of bubble, right? Like I came up in the theater, and like when you're touring, you're like kind of in this bubble where it's almost like the rest of the world doesn't exist. It's just the people in the company and just the crew, and like this one's sleeping with that one and that one. It's like almost like it's like it's like a little, almost like you're back in high school again, and everybody knows
After the first week, everyone slept with everybody. It's so crazy. I remember when I was like really innocent, I started doing, I wasn't like that, and I did this job. It was a BP oil and gas commercial, and we did that in Indiana and Illinois, and and I was like 21, 22, and dude, like I remember the DP and one of the ACs. They told me like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, at the every job, man. At the end of the first week, everyone's already banged." Like, what? I was shocked. I was like, what? Dude, it's true. It's absolutely not a joke at all. You have all these young people, you're on a campaign together, like your whole world is just this job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your whole world is work. And so when people are off work, you go extra nuts.
Totally.
That's the unhealthy element to this whole industry, I think, I mean, like the 80s, all those stories about like cocaine and stuff.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But because you're like in this high pressure, you're like in this pressure cooker, and you're working really long hours. And again, oftentimes you're out of your normal environment. You're not necessarily where you normally live. So it's like you're just in this pressure cooker. You work 16 hours for the day, and you know nobody else except for the people that you're working with, and then it just becomes, like I said, it's almost like high school, like with a magnifying glass for like,
Yeah, high stress environment, you know, chaotic environment, and bunch of adults out of town. Not gonna, you know, you're gonna, you know, everyone knows you're leaving this area, you know, in a few weeks.
so it's like there's no, but that's what the other thing, because there's no thing necessarily, there's no repercussions, because like you said, well, I'm only here for, you know, 4
Yeah,
weeks, 5
and you
weeks,
know,
so
the funny thing is, like, even today, like you go to places in the US, you know, and you go to a bar or something or some restaurant and you show them your ID, you're on, everyone knows they're filming something in town. It's always a big deal. And then
and
you
then,
show people your ID and they're like, "Oh, California. Oh, you work on this movie." Yeah. And people buy you drinks and stuff. It's so
like,
weird. I'm like, what the Yeah, it's so funny.
oh my God. So where, of all the different places that you filmed outside of LA, where's the, I don't want to say the most like the most favorite, where's the place that you happened to shoot where you were like, oh my goodness, I never in a million years would ever have thought that I would be in this particular place?
Oh man. Well, you know, recently, the past 2 years, we've been filming this sequel to this Netflix doc called
Hmm.
Ground. I
Yeah.
don't know what they're going to end up calling this next one. We've been working on it for a few years, but we traveled the circumference of the United States for this. So we've been doing this for like 2 years already, and it's still not, you know, we're still working on it. But
Yeah.
we went, we've seen, and this was like right after COVID, so we really got like a good gauge of what was happening around the country to everybody right after that. And so we saw so many crazy, interesting things on that. But the one of the most memorable things that we did, we on that job, we were like herding cattle in the mountains of Idaho with a bunch of cowboys. That was crazy. It was like 500 head of cattle in the mountains. That
How
was
fun.
nuts. Yeah, we're staying in like teepee, literal like canvas teepees. People still do it. It's called regenerative farming. They like, you know, you basically you just kind of do it the way people did it before, you know, the 19th century, before we had barbed wire everywhere.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you just kind
Yeah.
of move. Instead of wolves, you have to have young people, you know,
Like that
like
Brokeback Mountain. You just
yes,
lie
but
there.
real. I mean, it's a real job, dude. That is a hard job. There's a reason why it's so romanticized, right? Because it's such a miserable job. You have to be a young person to do it. Dude, you're outside, you are an animal. You're all day, you're outside with a bunch of cows in the sun on the back of a horse all day for days with nobody around. It's I have a lot of respect for those people. After that job, I learned so much about food and how to raise animals and all that stuff. And
And so did you
ranching,
stay in the
crazy.
teepee as well, or like at the
No,
end of shoot every day,
I
did they
didn't
send you
have
back
one.
to the Four Seasons?
No, dude, I just slept in my sleeping bag on the floor.
My God.
I didn't even have a TV, dude. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And everyone, you know, everyone's like young and super strong because you just got to be. Weird thing we noticed, man, was when we went north. We started in LA. We went north, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, you know,
Yeah.
Oregon, Washington, and then started going east. You know, and like
Hmm.
the moment we started going east, we noticed people's like handshakes got stronger, men, women, and children. It was so crazy. It's crazy. It was so funny to us. We were like, oh my God. Because we were literally just driving around the States and like really intimately, you know, living with people, filming them for a long time. And so we got
Yeah.
a really, yeah, it was one of the
Were
most
there,
interesting times of my life.
that's so fascinating. And it's so cool because that's one of the things that people think, right? When they think about traveling, it's like, oh, I want to go to Europe, I want to go to Asia. But like, you know, the United States is so vast, and
Dude,
there's
yeah.
so many cultures. Like every, you know, New York is a specific culture and how they interact. Nebraska's a specific culture and how they interact. Was there any place where being like born and raised and always living in Southern California where you said, whoa, I mean, of course, sleeping in, in a teepee, but like where you were just like, whoa, like this could easily be a different country because just the way that people interact
Yeah.
versus everything that I've ever known about how people interact is completely different.
Yeah. Well, actually, this place, you could almost just call it 50 different countries, just
Mhm.
we all agree to be one conglomeration of people together, because dude, this it's such a big place.
Yeah.
I think like only 30% or something, some number like that of the United States, the landmass is lived in, it's
Yeah.
an enormous place. And there,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, the more you travel, you could see like the cultural influences of the people that
Hmm.
moved to that particular area. They're still there in some places. Some of the more
Hmm.
remote spots in the United States, they still listen to like you could hear it in the music. I think it's North Dakota. We were just in recently, and like you go into like the VFW, like everyone's partying, and they're listening to like I don't know what you call that music. It sounds like a
Like polka or
I
something.
like Irish music, like and like
Yeah, probably
they have
like
like young
polka.
bands, like young kids playing it. And where I'm from in San Diego, our battle of the bands when we were in high school, it's all like banda, like polka music, like Mexican music. It's
Uh-huh.
so different, dude, right?
How
And we're all one country, but it's so vastly different. All the little corners of it. It's beautiful. I love it.
No, totally. And I imagine like being able to see all of it, it puts so much into perspective, especially just like, just how we are politically and how we interact, how like really we are all so different. So like there's no way for us to really be on the same
Yeah,
wavelength.
yeah. And well, why would you want that anyways? That's
Yeah,
boring.
no.
Be like the Borgs.
Exactly. Exactly. So how long are you guys still working on that, or like, how long do you think you'll still be working? Like, is this just kind of,
Oh, we're
because I
still
know
working.
documentaries are weird because you have to like
Yeah.
find the story and then you have to like kind of piece it together. Like you're kind of piecing it together as you're you're doing it.
Yeah. This I think they called us actually recently. We're supposed to be going out uh next month, all month. So
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't even know where we're going. But they said this, yeah, we're probably going to be going around different countries or something like that. I don't
Oh,
know.
that'll be fun. That'll be exciting.
Oh yeah, man.
What a cool. The past 2 years, I'm sorry, go for it.
The past 2 years we've just been only traveling. I've barely been home.
Well, I'm laughing because you said that when you were like first coming out of school, you're like it's the military or show business, and it almost sounds like you're see the world, kid. Sleep in a
Yeah, they're
sleeping
actually
bag, kid. Like,
yeah, they're actually the military, and the modality of how the military works and how the film industry works are very similar. So a lot of military people end up working in the film industry anyways after they retire from the military.
in what way would you say that the how the work is similar?
Because well, like the structure of the workday, and it's like a campaign structure.
Hmm.
So you have jobs, you go out, you travel, you go. It's very similar to the military, I guess, in that aspect. I know a lot. The school I went to, it doesn't exist anymore. Brooks Institute.
Uh-huh.
Um, like a lot of the people I went to school with were there on the GI Bill. Like most of the uh, people in some of the classes, they're like older military guys. Just because I guess it's a easy transition for them in some way.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I was never in the military, so I couldn't really tell you. But they seem to think so. And I mean, you could just, yeah, in the film industry, there's just a lot of ex-military people. My old roommate, he was a machine gunner in the military, in the Marines,
And now
or
he's
in the army.
and now he's a what?
Well, he actually passed away 2 years ago now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, what did he do in the he went from being a gunner to what did he do when he was working in the business?
He was a grip.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, but again, I guess you're very right, especially when you talk about those crew, because it's literally like you said, like just with the Steadicam, you're like literally standing there for hours a day, just like holding weight, waiting to
Yeah,
be told what to do.
yeah, it sucks.
Yes.
You get paid pretty good, but it hurts. Yeah.
So are there things that you haven't had the opportunity to do as far as the industry is concerned that you'd like to do? I mean, it could be outside of, camera work. Like you said, you started out as a writer. Like, do you have other things that are like on your list of like, all right, I'm gonna get to this?
Well, dude, I mean, one day I'm gonna have to not, do something else because I won't be able to do this forever. So I think about that all the time. I just don't know what it would be. I'd love to work in an office,
Okay.
creatively somehow, because the whole reason I started doing this type of stuff was just because I can't stand being in the same place every day,
Yeah.
like a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about that all the time. Like, what am I gonna do after this? It has to be something in the film industry, but not holding
A toddler,
giant
12 hours a day.
yeah, holding something like way, arm outstretched. Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know what I'd be doing other than this. I've never done anything really aside from this and a little bit of stage crewing. This is the only thing I've ever done.
Are other people in your family in the business or no?
No.
Were they when you said, you know what, military or the business, you know what, screw the military, I'm going to Los Angeles and I'm going to Hollywood. What was their response at the time?
Well, my dad was like a machinist for the Navy in North Island his whole life, So, and like everybody was doing that, and there's like, well, I guess I'm gonna do that, and like just not thinking, not not thinking for yourself. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it was expensive. So my dad, he was pissed at that. He was like pissed that he was just pissed. But I'm like the only one of my brothers and sisters that was gonna go to college. So he was like, fuck it. He's like, it's one of them's gotta go to college. So yeah.
Are they at this stage, are they like thrilled? Like, are they like, anytime like a project that you've worked on is released, are they like, we're having a viewing party at our house? Like, are you like the crazy brother?
They don't even know. They don't even know what. Dude, my mom still thinks I'm a director. She's Filipino. She just, when she talks to her friends in the Philippines, she's like, oh, he's a director. I'm like, what are you telling them? No, because they don't know, I'm just a working man.
There you go, right? Isn't everybody at the end of the day?
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great,
Yeah.
Helping somebody.
Exactly. That's all it is. Do you have like a preference? Like, you've done music videos, you've done feature films, you're still in the middle of this documentary. Do you have like I really love, working? I mean, especially as a cameraman, because you're like literally watching all of it. You don't have the break of like, oh yeah, you're not like, okay, I'm gonna step away and I'm gonna be in my dressing room for 5 hours, or I'm stepping away and I'm going to hair and makeup. You're just there watching it all of the various takes, all of the various. Do
Yeah.
you have? Yeah. Is there any particular like genre or type of content that you find more interesting than others?
Well, for me, from a worker's perspective, I really like fashion stuff
Yeah.
because it's short and it's easy and you get paid a lot. And they don't record the sound, so we just playing music all day, just filming models, with the camera. It's like for Walmart, whatever, like a little commercial for like those, when you walk through the aisles of Walmart and they got those little videos of like
Uh-huh.
the summer catalog, and it's like some model in the desert with their clothes blowing in the wind. That stuff. Did that
You're
for a
like,
long
that's me.
Yes, yes. It's the best. It's the best job.
Because it's quick, it pays
It's
well,
so
and there's
quick.
pretty people, and there's music.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Usually when I was doing it, I was the one playing the music too. So I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, do you do a lot of advertising campaigns and fashion campaigns?
Yeah, I haven't for a while because I've been on this documentary, but there was a point where we did a lot of it was like a year we did all like Walmart stuff, um, like Armani stuff. It's just they just find pretty places and you just go hang out and shoot. It's like the coolest job ever. If I could do that for like and that alone, I'd be set.
Yeah. So do
Yeah.
you work in terms of like getting your work? Like, do you have an agent? Do you have a like how, or is it literally just your network who's like, hey, Jose, we're working on this. Are you available? Like, how as a camera operator, how does work come about?
Yeah, let
And
me just. Mhm.
oh no, and I only ask because just recently, just as a matter of fact, last week on the show, we interviewed our friend who is a hair and makeup artist and specifically really works on like fashion campaigns. And the folks, the hair and makeup artists, they have agents who kind of book them out. So I was just curious, as a camera operator, how does the work come about?
Well, for me, it's all business relationships and word of mouth for me.
Hmm.
Um, um, I mean, there's a upside and downside because it when you do things this way, you tend to work on certain things for a period of time, and it's hard to like change course.
Yeah.
You know, so it took me a while to get away from music videos, and then I was on to commercials and uh, films and stuff, and yeah, and then from that to the fashion stuff, and then from the fashion stuff to documentaries, and that's where I'm at now. But yeah,
Yeah. Is there something you haven't done? Have you ever done television?
no, not a lot, just a lot of commercials. I basically do like
Okay.
commercials and like films.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So tell me,
I'd
so
love to. I'd
tell,
love to get on like a TV show and just be done with it. Be
and
like,
just
all
be
right,
like,
this is
okay,
what
this is what I'm doing for the
this is
next
my
five
life.
years. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you
man.
and everybody else. So what have you tell me about this past year? Like what have you worked on this past year? So we have the documentary, the sequel to Kiss the Ground. What else have we been working on this past year?
We just did we did a movie. It's not done yet. It's like a basketball movie in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
and so that was an experience.
How
That-
so?
it was just a nutty shoot, man. Just like this one was really crazy. They tried to flip the show. I don't know if you know what if you're familiar with that term, flipping,
No,
like a
no,
film
please
shoot.
let us
It's like
know.
it's when like the heads of a film production, if they're like union people, they could decide if the project has enough resources, like enough money, that they'll actually ask everybody on the crew if they want to flip the film. to make it go union, and then they'll bring the
Oh,
union.
I see what you're
They
saying.
make a
Going from
deal.
is a
Yeah, and the
non-union
union,
shoot
kind of like a
to okay,
gang, you know?
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like a gang. They kind of come in secretly, and they say to the employers like, "Hey, we're gonna make it hard for you to continue filming this here project of yours unless you pay us a lot of money and pay these guys and pay all these other things." I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Well, so what's that like, right? So you're like on the sidelines while the crew
yeah,
is trying to unionize.
it happens all the time.
And
It's
and
just a
you
lot of drama because you never know if the people are going to just kind of. It's illegal to do this, but you can't fire people for trying to do that. At least
yeah.
in California. But what a lot of people do, a lot of employers do, because they want to make their film too, right? So they'll just stop shooting, and because they can't fire you, they'll just pick it up somewhere else and hire a bunch of like high school kids, something like that.
That
Not
makes
literally
right.
high school kids, but like just people that would.
No, but it's like, well, we're in Georgia now. You know what? We're gonna actually change. I totally get it.
Yeah, hire someone
Yeah.
else. It happens all the time, and a lot of
Yeah.
we were afraid that was going to happen. It was wild. It was on the news. We were. Yeah, a lot of people haven't even been paid yet for that one. It's crazy. So somebody went to the news, and yeah, we shared in our little what do you call it? The little a little chat. Somebody their faces all blacked out. Like somebody shared it with
Is
the
their
news.
voices
They're
distorted?
complaining about it. And we're like, oh, it's awesome.
He says awesome. I
It's
dig you.
it's
I
the
love how
wildest
you're
thing
so
I've done in a long time. Yeah.
I
I
know
was
I
just
just
hanging
love
out.
your
I'm like, dude,
outlook
I'm just
in
working
life.
here, man. I don't even live here in Atlanta, dude. I'm going back home. Like, I just want to get this done. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
People
my goodness.
crazy.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I absolutely love it. So are those the two big things? Have you been working on anything else?
Recently, no, just gone back to doing that documentary. Hopefully we finish that soon because it's been years. So the first one, Kiss the Ground, I didn't work on that whole thing, but that thing took them 7 years to film.
Wow. Well, that's the thing
Yeah.
about the documentaries, because again, you say like this is the story we want to tell, but then they like, the story kind of unfolds, or like you start recording thinking that you're doing something, but then all of a sudden you find, whoa, this is actually the story. And all of them, I used to work for a production company that does a lot of really high-end, like premium docu-series. And one of them is like, focuses on, a major entertainer. And I don't think it's still out yet. I worked there like 4 years ago, and I think that they're still shooting. And when I got there, they had been shooting for like 3 years. So it's
Gee,
an it's an it's an it's intense. It's intense, but it's the job that keeps on giving, right? Because every so often they're like, "Hey, you available to?"
yeah. Well,
So
yeah, a lot like somebody that's a lot of times it's like somebody that's helping fund the film, like one of the benefactors will say they don't like something, and then they have to
yeah.
go and then like just from that one sentence, all these things need to happen. They need to hire people, they need to fly them out to a part of the world, and they need to film for a week and then come back, edit it in. That process takes months, and then they come back and then they watch, and then some other benefactor says, well, I don't like that, can you change it to this? And then it doesn't stop for 7 years. That's all,
And you're
that's
just like,
what
okay, have
happened.
passport, we'll travel.
Yeah, yeah, it's
What do you
crazy.
have? We have to wrap up very soon, but is there something coming up next that you're really excited about?
No, not no.
That was, I don't know, spring, summer, waking up tomorrow. You're like, eh.
Yeah, I just want to wake up tomorrow, man. Yeah, actually, I have a girlfriend in Serbia. She's trying to move here, and she's trying to get a job in the film industry too. But she does things like, like special effects makeup, silicone stuff. So
Oh, good stuff.
that's what I'm. I just hoping she moves here and like has a decent time of it,
Yeah, because it's
because it's
tough.
a lot of people. It's the work's really slow right now, so you know, for a lot
Yeah,
of people,
it's a weird time, right? I mean, like even
yeah,
just in terms of just all of the like what's happening content wise with all the studios like canceling shows and writing
well, yeah,
off things and like it's a really
yeah,
weird time
yeah, the
all
economics
around.
and yeah, everything.
Yeah.
It's I'm really interested to see what happens in the next few years.
Yeah, no, you and me both. But listen, I could sit here and talk to you forever, but unfortunately, my boss is at the radio station say we have to break for commercial. So
Yes,
I
sir.
want I want to thank you so much for joining me. It's been such a pleasure getting acquainted with you. And when I'm next in LA, which shouldn't be too soon, too far away, I'll look you up. We have to grab a coffee or a
Oh yeah,
drink.
let's go karaoke or some disco dancing or something.
There we go. I haven't been disco dancing since.
Oh hell
Uh,
yeah, dude, that's my whole outfit. It's all lapels and bell bottoms and stuff.
okay, so I clearly so before I come to LA, I'm gonna go shopping because I'm gonna need a whole new wardrobe, and we're
Oh
gonna
man,
have a little Saturday night fever. We're gonna go out discoing, and and it's gonna be an absolute blast.
Hollywood. Yeah, dude.
Exactly. Well, thank you so
I'm so
much.
thank you, man.
Indeed. And thank you all. Thank you, Jose Babcock. Thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you next week on another episode of Showtime with Jordan Van Haslo and friends right here on Hot 702.5 FM Las Vegas. Talk to you soon. Hi there. It's Jordan Van Haslo. Yes, that's right. That Jordan Van Haslo. I don't know if you know this, but everyone's favorite radio show and podcast is now available on Spotify. That's right. Showtime with Jordan Van Haslo and Friends, my weekly one-on-one chat with some of the most interesting people I know from the entertainment and the arts communities, can now be streamed on Spotify. That's right. I share real estate with Michelle Obama. Click the link and be sure to subscribe.